States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to allow Alderman Stevens to participate remotely.
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll call.
Chrysler.
Here.
Eddie.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Garrett.
Here.
Beeson.
Here.
8 Aldermen present, 0 absent.
Consent agenda items, approval of minutes of previous meetings, payroll, disbursements.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda items.
Second.
Any discussion or question? Roll call vote.
Chrysler.
Yes.
Eddie.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Beeson.
Yes.
8 A's, 0 nays.
I don't see Ben and Associates in the audience, but I do see Seth. We have some updates, Seth.
Thank you, sir. So just a few brief updates. We did hand out a new packet. I apologize. We had a last minute update this afternoon, so you should have an updated packet in front of you. The sedimentation 319 grant, the planning grant for the potential dredging of the lake, so we have not had an update on that yet. The leverage funding for the IEPA for the 2 water main projects, so that is still waiting on leverage funding. You guys were offered principal forgiveness or bypass funding in October. The only problem with it did not include any principal forgiveness, so we suggested not to take that. We're going to hopefully get offered it here towards the first of the year. So hopefully we have an update for you by the time your first January meeting comes around. The safe routes to school, so the topographic and boundary survey have been completed. We're just waiting on a deed for the school property that some of the sidewalk is going to be on. So we'll have to get an easement for that between the city and the school. Other than that, we're looking at probably a spring letting and summer construction while school is on. So that is the tentative plan right now. The OSLAD grant for park improvements, IDNR expects to announce this by the end of the week. So we're hoping that comes by Friday. If not, it'll be hopefully early next week. As for the DCO grant, no update on that. We're still awaiting the grant agreement and the leverage funding, which is part of the IEPA. And the next paragraph is the IEPA funding. Again, that's just reiterating the last sentence. We're going to try to do it after January so that you get offered that principal forgiveness. And then flipping to page 3, the latest update is at the very bottom. So that is a future DCO project. We've talked to Brian, and he has a new area, which is attachments 10 and 10A. So those are the last 2 pages of the handout. So that's the tentative project area that is subject to change. Those grants won't be due likely until October to December of 2025. So we've got some time to make modifications to that. It's just a preliminary plan as of right now. So if you guys have any questions, concerns?
Any questions for Seth on the updates?
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and you guys have a happy holiday.
All right, Todd, I mean Steve.
Good to be back, Mayor. First item is second presentation of the tax levy ordinance.
Make a motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
Discussion or questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Eddie.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
Beeson.
Yes.
Chrysler.
Yes.
It's 8 A's, 0 nays for ordinance number 2006.
The next item is second reading of the ordinance on accessory buildings. This ordinance has been to the planning commission and through the committee, and it was presented at last meeting.
I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance.
Second, any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a couple comments on it. We're gonna have a problem with this ordinance down the road because the definition of accessory building, vacant lot, there's nothing on a vacant lot. Its land area is not built on, it's in cities, and an accessory building is a structure on the same property as a main building but it's subordinate to the main building. Right now, we're talking about putting accessory buildings on a vacant lot. A vacant lot, there shouldn't be a building on there at all. I think they'll have trouble with planning and zoning commission later on dealing with this ordinance because of the definition of accessory building. I just want to throw that out there. That's why I vote no on it.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call vote.
Schneider,
No.
Stevens,
No.
Scott,
No.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie.
Yes.
It's 5 ayes, 3 nays, ordinance number 2007.
The next item is an ordinance rescinding the tax increment redevelopment agreement with Workshop Market, Inc. On the condition that they reconvey the property to the city.
I would like to make a motion that we waive first reading and go ahead and pass it as an ordinance.
Second?
Discussion or questions? Roll call vote.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
No.
Schneider.
Yeah.
7 ayes, 1 nay, that's ordinance number 2008.
The next item is a resolution accepting the water main easement from Keith Henshaw.
I'll make a motion to pass that.
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
8 ayes, 0 nays, resolution number 24-65.
And the last item is a resolution approving an agreement with Light Architecture for improvements to the fire station.
Make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
If we're wondering, how much was that grant, Kevin?
300,000, I believe. With less than 5% could be our cost.
Awesome. All right, roll call vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
8 ayes, 0 nays, that's resolution number 24-66.
Greg,
The DOT demands that we pass a resolution to spend our MFT money for next year. Excuse me, as usual, we just take a wild guess and we guess very high so that we don't have to change the resolution every 2 months. So you have basically the same thing that you see every year. It shows an amount more than what we get every year, almost $400,000, and we have to spend it about $2. So that's our intent, and that's what you're looking at if you wanna. I think Kim will tell you that it needs to be passed either this week or next time.
Make a motion to pass the resolution.
any questions for Greg about MFT? Okay, roll call vote.
Garrett,
Yes.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
8 ayes, 0 nays, that's resolution number 24-67.
Okay, and then somewhere in there you've got, to approve a pay estimate for the bike trail bridge. On that, there's been virtually no work done there, except for Ameren moving power poles out of the way of these guys' crane. That's being paid for out of the line item that I think was about $100,000 of contingency. In case we needed something that nobody thought about, well, that's what this is. So Ameren moved the poles for about 43 grand. And, the state, or Coon and Trello has approved it, wants us to approve it, so the state can pay these guys.
That seems fair.
Make a motion we approve it.
I'll second.
Any questions for Greg on this? Pretty transparent. All right, roll call vote.
Beeson,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett.
Yes.
8 ayes, 0 nays.
Thank you.
Kirk is out this evening, Kim?
All I I have is the share calendar for council meetings for 2025. For ordinance, they're the second and fourth Monday of the month, excluding holidays. There will be 2 Tuesday meetings next year. May 27th and October 14th. That's it.
All right, Tanya?
I need to report to the council that I did have to transfer funds out of the capital improvement surcharge fund to the water and sewer. I did this Friday the 6th. And I transferred $300,000, but that should take us through like March of next year, is what I'm kind of estimating.
Okay. Any questions for Tanya? Okay, I have 2 items. One is just a reminder that the second council meeting this month is on December 16th, which is next Monday, instead of the 23rd because of the holiday week. The second item is I need an approval for an application for a change of liquor license for Neiman Foods, which is county market from a D to an F.
They got a representative here, can they explain to us where they wanna put it at and how they wanna do it?
Yes, I'm sure she can.
I called Saturday over there, want some information, nobody knew anything about it.
No, they don't. They are sending me, of all the locations that we have, and there's county markets we've done 12, and the last time when I first came over here were another 5. So each one they send in a team of architects that will like decide the best location. Some of the locations we've done have used private rooms that already existed in the building, and then we covered the doors and that became a private one. Where there weren't applicable private rooms already available, they have built about 3/4 high walls and then put tempered glass that have kind of opaque, they're opaque so you can't see them. So no one who doesn't want to see the gaming will necessarily know that that's there. So I don't know what exact location, I have a guesstimate of where I think it would be, but I'm not the end all. They will do it based where they can get cable lines and electrical and things. So it would be an enclosed space within line of sight, because the gaming board requires it to be in line of sight of either the checkout counter or the service counter, so that somebody has eyes on it to protect anyone underage who might want to go in there. So they will be sending an architect to decide the best location, but I have some photos if you'd like to see of other rooms that we've done. And then the goal of it, Neiman's is a business and grocery stores are, as you guys know, prices are through the roof and margins are slimmer, and rather than close any stores, which was not our intention, this is the route that we've started with, putting gaming parlors inside for extra income, since it's essentially money making without extra personnel. They don't have to hire anybody to man it. And that's kind of what our future is looking like right now, so that we don't have to close stores. But if there's things that you would want to do or to have, please let me know and I will take it back to them if there's certain criteria that you're interested in.
As long as it follows the IGD guidelines, that's good enough. I mean, that's what everybody else does.
Yeah.
There was one thing when I read the Class F, it said that they have to, and I might be misinterpreting this, but it said something about there has to be gasoline sales there. It didn't make sense to me. So do we need to worry about that?
No. No gasoline.
I just read the.
That was
Then they can
an
take,
option of it.
only take 2 drinks back at a time with them.
And really, you can only take one at a time, and at all the other locations that we have already opened, the amount of alcohol that goes through is just minimal. It's the Illinois Gaming Board that required the on-site consumption rule, and if they sell a case a month, I'd be shocked.
Right. Most gas stations don't.
Yeah, it's
not there for that.
It's not what it's there for, yeah.
Any motion in a second? Yes, please. Do you have a motion?
I know this was talked about 3 years or 4 years ago. We didn't do anything with it.
No, they came around, I guess, and audited 3 or 4 years ago, and then they started with all the ones just in the Quincy vicinity, and now they're moving forward. So there's 5 that we're working on. So, well, there's 3 that are up for approval with the gaming board now, and then you guys are in the next 5. And it's a long process, because even when you guys give us the new license, that's when they can apply. But the gaming board, they're running 6 months to a year before anything would become of it. And we wouldn't do the construction at the site until closer to it, so it's not unusable space for the store.
Well, this is the thing that's kind of going on now. You got one more Tebble, the Tebble Food Center's got gaming in that place. You know, you don't really notice it over there. I know we start here. How are we doing on the gaming as far as the income from this year, the last couple of years? Are we still making more money each year, or is it kind of evened out?
So far this year with Jack Flash being open, it's only increased $5,000 over last year.
So we're gonna be splitting the money up between existing places then?
No, people travel. To say that people gamble in your community and that's the only people that do is insane. You get people that come through and spend money. It's not just, people don't just buy gas and Pana that live in Pana. People don't just shop in Pana that live in Pana. It's people that come through here too. So if you have to consider everybody else that does too. It's not just people that live here. And it's not about how much money we can make. It's about keeping an existing service and business open in the community that people need, which is this grocery store and the other grocery store. So,
Because we do one, the other one should have it too.
And they
And
might.
if they ask for it, we have to give it to them.
they have the right to, and I agree that they should have it. Just like they should.
I know Nokomis doesn't have any grocery stores. We're getting a lot of people from Nokomis coming over here to our stores now. So I can see that would bring some income in that we wouldn't have for the game.
Anything else? Gas, food, entertainment, whatever.
I'll make a motion, we approve the change from Class D to Class F.
Second. Any further question or discussion? Okay, roll call vote that.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
No.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Stevens. No. Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
No.
Garrett,
No, I'd like to see where it's gonna be first, what it's gonna look like.
Beeson,
Yes.
Mayor Pastor.
Yes.
It's 5 ayes, 4 nays.
Okay, we'll go on to reports of committee, community safety.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Community operations.
Nothing.
Administration.
Nothing.
Nothing. Economic development.
Have none.
Nobody's got negotiations. Nothing there. Unfinished business? Nope. New business? Nothing there either. So citizens' opportunity to address the council. I have Regan Stokes about water bills.
Good evening, my name is Reagan Stokes, and thank you for letting me speak this evening. I'm here tonight to contest my November water bill for my October usage. Me and my husband bought our house a couple of years ago on Magnolia Street, and back in June of this year, we were notified for high consumption, which ended up being in our hydrant line, which we were finally able to get that fixed. And for 1 month, our usage went back to what it should be, which was at 4,000 gallons. And the reason I'm here is because I was notified in November saying, I was left a message saying, this is Richard Ivan with the water department. You got flagged for high consumption last month with 16,800 gallons. For your next bill, it's gonna be 56,000 gallons worth, thinking you might have a leak. And what this is saying, that I was red flagged for the previous month and was not notified. They read the meter October 1st, they should have notified me then. If they had notified me, then I would have done what I did on November 1st, which is I called my dad, and then I went out and I dug up the water line myself. We immediately started trying to figure out what the issue was. This had been a total nightmare for us. Having 2 little ones at home, and I had just had a new baby in August. We moved in with my parents so the water could be fixed and shut off while it was being fixed. I would like to add, there was no evidence of having a leak this big, 56,000 gallons, which would be like filling a large pool twice. Wes Horton, who did our plumbing work, came out and searched our property and found no evidence of a leak. We never found the underlying problem, so we ended up replacing all of our water lines to avoid any future issues. So on top of our $1,200 water bill, we will also have a $1,200 plumbing bill. So what we're saying is that we do not feel responsible for this bill, because given the chance, I would have fixed the problem the month prior. While we were asking for your mercy on this issue, the water department has known we had issues. And how hard is it to pick up the phone when someone's water usage quadruples in a month? I hope you guys can do something about it, because there's no way that we should be responsible for a $1,200 water bill when it quadrupled in a month and they did not notify us. Thank you.
You want to explain some stuff on this, Tanya? We've been dealing with this for months.
This has been an ongoing problem since June. They had 12,000, then 16,800, and like she said, down to 4,100, and back to 16,800, and back to 56,000. The staff said they did call.
I have proof.
of that.
But there was no leak, and how did we
Right.
get so much
Exactly.
water?
We can only
Yeah.
bill what they read.
Right.
And they said Brian went out there and traced the line and advised, this come from Eric, secondhand, not
I
talked
talked to Brian today about this, and they went out there, like I said, they had a hydrant that was bad, because they went out there on a Saturday one day, and didn't charge a call or nothing. They went out there and Brian said he could hear the water leaking somewhere around the hydrant. And then he was back out there again, him and Eric Hutchison, the meter reader, they went out and he told them, says you got water running somewhere, I don't know where it's running, you got water lines running here and there out there on this property. And he was with me, I replaced the line and cut all this off, because he said we can't trace it. And that's what he recommended, and that's what you guys wound up doing, you put a new water line in.
Yes.
But the policy of the city is, years ago, they used to have it where be a one-time break and then go on. Well, since I'm in operations, there's been same people. 3 months ago, I talked with you about this, and you was making payments then. And you got another leak.
No, I've never made payments. I have
You
made,
haven't made payments yet?
no, I have been making the payment that I have been billed. I am saying for the $1,200 water bill. The one that is due tomorrow, I feel as if I should not be responsible for it, because you read my meter on October 1st,
That was.
and that's when I should have been notified.
That is the 56,000.
No,
That's,
10-1 to 10-31.
That's the
Right here it is.
16.8.
That's right here.
Yeah.
Print out of it.
10-1
she has the phone call on November 1st.
Yes,
was the 56,000, correct?
I got a phone call.
But the policy
On
is
November
how it's always been, is whenever you have a leak,
Yeah.
you do
No,
a sewer
I was-
adjustment, they don't have sewer out there.
No,
And so only thing we can do is, like before I talked to her, is, you have your bill and pay so much every month on your bill till it's paid.
no.
Because we just had a lady come in to do it today to do that from East Fifth Street. That's how it's been done for at least 9 years when they changed the policy on this. And I've been dealing with it for, 4 years now. And anytime if there's a sewer adjustment, I investigate whenever they call me or the homeowner calls me with a problem. I investigate, I talk to the water meter reader first, I talk to the water department, and I get out printouts on what the consumption is, the amounts, what the cost is, and then I get the water superintendent. There's a lot of hours spent doing this, investigating it, and if we can if it's a leak that doesn't go in the sewer, then we take it to the operations committee and review the paperwork, and the committee will recommend to the council, and the council will approve it. Like last year during the Christmas season, we had 17 leaks we had to deal with, and came back to the council for, Jordan, we dealt with about 10 of them, and we deal with this all the time.
I understand that, but you read my meter on October 1st, and that's when my usage quadrupled. I should have been notified. It makes it even worse that I had issues prior. I feel since I've been speaking to you guys for months, since June on this issue, and I had the issue come up again, how am I supposed to know? I am a stay-at-home mom. My husband works his butt off. He's hardly home because he works so much. I do what I can. So I feel as a city you should have notified me when my water quadrupled. And you didn't notify me until the next month.
Things they did.
They didn't notify me till November 1st. I have the message on my phone. It's a voicemail. And it's
It
11:01.
really doesn't make a difference. You've had.
It does
issues
make a
since
difference.
June, and they've been contacting you.
I got it
and
fixed.
The water superintendent's been out there twice.
But I got it
It
fixed
wasn't
in
the
June.
same leak.
It's not the same leak,
It's not,
sir.
it's not the same leak. It's a different leak.
Yeah, you said you had the hydrant, then you had the line.
Yes.
Cause he was out there with you guys.
Yes,
And
but we
you
got it
replaced
fixed.
the lines.
We
You've
got it
water
fixed.
lines running everywhere. Otherwise, it is gonna keep, you're gonna have
Right.
issues continuously.
Explain. We,
We had it
Okay.
fixed.
Right.
We had it in June.
Go ahead, explain.
just calm down, okay? So when this first happened, the hydrant, I was on the road. I was working on the road. I come home. That weekend, we had the hydrant, we replaced a new hydrant on ourselves. We had a month in between. Everything was normal. Normal
Our
water.
water bill
was
went down
back.
to $111.
Water bill was the same. So then I get a phone call a month later from her saying that our usage went way back up. And we dug up what I replaced myself. It wasn't leaking. And yes, our water lines are going everywhere. When we bought the house, we did not know that. I mean, 56,000 gallons, in my mind, you'd have a puddle somewhere. We had Wes Horton come out. He looked at me, he said, Blake, he said, I have no clue. He said, I have nothing for you. So how am I mean, yeah, as a homeowner, it's my job if I gotta leak. But if I can't find the leak, I didn't know it was leaking, I'm not gonna go.
Did he check the toilets?
Yes.
We checked
everything.
There was no toilets running. There was no, our
There's
water
still
pressure
not.
didn't go down. There was nothing running in the house. I turned off everything in the house. There was nothing running and our meter was constantly.
I'll tell you what we did. So, we went under the house, and we got told where to cut it. Because our water line come up out of the ground, it came to a main, and then it went back under the ground. So we cut it where it went back under the ground, and I plugged it. That shut off everything in the house, and it was still running somewhere, and so it had to be underground somewhere, but we never did
There
find
was
it.
no water going anywhere. And since we don't have city sewer, we can't get the break like other people have to not be charged for the city sewer for that water going nowhere.
Where do you live? Where do you live? The lake? Where do you live?
West
I
Magnolia
know,
Street,
okay.
over
What's
by
your
my dad's.
average bill?
Last December, it was $90. So, and after, I mean, inflation, everything goes up, it was running about $110, which is what it should be. And that's what it was in September. It went to $111 when we had the leak fixed. And then it quadrupled to $379. And that's when we were not notified. And that's when I feel we should have been notified.
Triple again.
And then it tripled again to 56,000 gallons, $1,200,
So
because the city did not notify me the month prior.
and then you replace the water line.
And we replaced
the
it.
price went back to,
No, we replaced it after they notified me in November, the month after my usage quadrupled.
But then after you replaced it, it went back to.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, I've not gotten that next
Because
one.
it's a month behind.
Yeah, because it's a month behind.
But the thing is, how the policy is, if you do a break on this, like I said, we just had two other ones we've dealt with. The lady came in today and signed the paperwork, which will make payments on our bill.
I'd like to discuss this further with you on our own.
Okay.
And with Tanya and I could, should you have their contact information?
Yeah.
We have a closed session to go into, I don't think it'll take long, you're welcome to stick around, or we can talk tomorrow. I can give you a call, or we can work some, we can talk, because I think there's more to this
Okay,
than that.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's start that, okay? Anybody else? Yes, state your name.
Yeah, my name's Brett Wallace with Wallace Refuse,
Okay.
and I wanted to come and ask you guys a couple of questions. The first one on the ordinance violation, for me, was I the only trash company in the town to get a violation order? Because the reason my prices went up is because I seen bills from all the other trash companies. And, they was all higher than I was, so I went up to what they was charging also. And, now this has been a few months ago, so I haven't seen any recent bills from other trash companies, but we've had several customers switch over to us here in the city of Pana because we was cheaper. So, one, just wanted to know if everybody else got a letter too, because the bills that I've seen from the other trash companies, I have seen some that stick with 16, but I've also seen some all the way up to 25 a month. But I don't, I'm not worried about them or whatever, but it's just, the 16 a month just is not, sufficient a price. The way I get charged at the landfill is by the pound. Pounds make tons, so I get charged by the ton. And Waste Management owns most of the landfills around here, so they don't have to contend with what me and the rest of them have to contend with as far as prices and stuff. But it don't 80% of one day of my trash collection is here in the city of Pana, and when I get done at the end of the day, I will have about between 8.5 and 9.5 tons of trash. That will equal out to about $900 to dump for that one dump. And you do that at least 4 times a month. You take $16 and you take somebody that's got a 50-pound tote, which I know 50 pounds of trash sounds like a whole lot, but it ain't. There's a lot of people that their trash will run 100 pound, 150 pound. You don't realize until you pick that trash can up and try to dump it. And it's so you take, say, just 50 pound a month times 4 weeks in a month, sometimes 5, but just 4 for easy math, that's 200 pounds a month for one person. And that's costing me, about $18, $20 to dump that one, to dump that. Now you do have other people that don't have that much, so you try to, it's supposed to equal out, but there's a lot of times it don't equal out. Most people are very trash heavy anymore. It's just the way it is. And my second question would be if you guys would consider a rate increase. I know the rate increase you haven't had a rate increase in, I think, 2 years. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact date of when the last time you guys raised it, but I think it's been about 2 years that you had a rate increase. And as you guys know, you raise the water rate 6% a year. So, we all need to make money and have, rate increases periodically, So, if you're gonna stick with, 16 or, that, then, could we consider a rate increase again? And, see what we could, what we could come up with.
I can definitely look into your ordinance violation. I don't know for a fact off the top of my head.
I was charging 16 for the pickup, and then, one bill I seen, they was charging $4 for a tote rental, so I went to $4. I got the ordinance violation for a tote rental saying you couldn't do a tote rental, so I seen another bill with fuel surcharge, so I went to a fuel surcharge, and you sent me another one. So that's why I'm here today, I'm just, I've been in business 3 years, which is nothing to you guys or nothing like that, but it's just very hard to keep going, with the amount of trash that is collected compared to the cost. It's just it just kind of sometimes it don't offset, like I said, I'm spending almost $1,000 a week to dump it, and it adds up after a while, so, but.
I can definitely look into it for you and see on that. Now, as far as the rate increases go, you got 8 people up here, you're gonna have to convince of that, no matter what my thought is about it.
Yeah, I understand that. So,
Anybody have anything?
appreciate the consideration.
Yeah, other questions for the gentleman?
I have a question. Did you say you saw that the other companies in town were charging a tote fee and a fuel charge? And
Yeah.
you got an ordinance violation for it?
Hmm.
Okay, but you don't know what they did?
No.
Okay, so we need to look into that, for sure.
It was checked into.
Well, was
That'd
anybody
have been
else
about 3 or 4
getting-
months
anybody
ago,
else get a
I think.
violation?
Pardon me?
That had been like 3 or 4 months ago,
What's that?
the ordinance violation.
The first one, and then I got another letter here a month ago or so. So, yeah.
The Scudwell was, another company was gonna do the same thing, when you got the ordinance violation, they stopped theirs before it went out.
Okay.
So it, we didn't have it.
No, just him did it.
I can definitely look into it for you, sir. And we have your contact information. I'm sure the ordinance office does, so. I'll do a little digging and we'll get in touch and I'll let you know.
Okay, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, I will dismiss the chambers for a closed session. I'll need a motion to go into closed session.